Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to another episode of Cheap Shots, our series dedicated to showing you how to save money on the wargaming hobby. And on today's episode, we'll discuss how you can use the brand new Tempestus Aquilon Kill Team from the latest release from Games Workshop's Kill Team, Hive Storm, in your games of Necromunda. We'll review the box set's contents, discuss the potential narrative, how these fighters fit in the Necromunda setting, discuss the gang's playstyle, provide rosters for your very first campaign, suggest how this gang could develop over the course of a campaign, and give our overall conclusions on this box set. And because this video will be a little bit more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that way you can click and navigate to the part of the video that interests you the most. So let's go and talk about why I'm doing this. Now usually whenever I do a cheap shot video, I usually do a painting tutorial because that's the number one way I can know how to actually help new wargamers save money on the wargaming hobby. After all, paints are actually quite expensive, and in some cases some people are actually spending more money on paints than they actually are on miniatures. But today's video is a little bit different because what I also like to do is show how you can use different miniatures from different gaming systems and use them for your tabletop games. In this situation, we're using these brand new kill teams that are coming out with the Hive Storm campaign setting that Games Workshop is creating. We're going to show you how to use these games in your actual games of Necromunda as well. After all, being able to use kill teams in Necromunda is a very easy transition because any miniature is a Necromunda miniature because it fits in the narrative so well. And by the way, using one set of miniatures to play multiple games is the best way to save a lot of money during this time period. And because inflation is such an issue as well, saving money is going to be the key focus for a lot of players. And like I said before, it fits perfectly within the 40k universe because 40k and Necromunda take place in the same time period, so it all works out. So now that we're going to talk about why we're doing this, let's go and talk about exactly what's inside the box set that you get for the Tempestus Aquilon Kill Team. So based on the promotional images that we found, you actually get 10 fighters in this kill team that you could use in your very first in your campaigns. So first of all, we have the Tempestor, which is basically like the sergeant in charge. This person's got a power sword and looks like a pistol of some sort. We also have a gunner with a special weapon, as well as a marksman with some kind of sniper type weapon. And the best part is we got like these giant jetpacks that they look like they're using to rocket around the kill team environment. The box set also looks like it contains a servo sentry, which I thought was like the coolest thing on this. When I saw the preview video for Hive Storm, I really noticed the servo sentry as it came rocketing and blasting fools left and right. It also looks like it comes with the option to put a flamer or a grenade launcher, or looks like a hotshot lasgun looks like onto this weapons platform. So we'll be utilizing this within our gang list. And finally, it looks like we have two more specialists called the Precursor, which looks like a close combat oriented kind of like stealth type of operative, as well as a Grenadier, which of course carries all the explosive for the gang. And then lastly, of course, you have 5 Troopers, which are just looks like they're just general looking type fighters with the jetpack, as well as looks like hotshot las carbines, as look like these guys are packing. So these are the type of fighters that you usually get within a box set, and we're going to actually use these miniatures to actually go about to create your gang. So let's talk about exactly what the narrative for this is. I have 2 different lists that I've actually put together for this video, so let's talk about list number 1. Now the background narrative between these guys, behind these Tempestus Aquilons, is that these guys are actually Vansar gang fighters who actually use using experimental rocket belts in order to rock around the battlefield of Necromunda. After all, if you're going out to the Ash Waste or you're going out to the Underhive, the Vansar are going to take this opportunity to field test their new equipment that they've actually created to see exactly how effective it is. And the reason why we decided to go with this build is because just from the miniatures themselves, a lot of them carrying a lot of las weapons, plus it looks like they have a lot of high-tech gear, which actually of course just fits perfectly within the Vansar narrative, because that's exactly what Vansar guys would be about. So your very first list is going to be a Tempestus Aquilons list that's going to be set within the Aranthian Succession, which is going to give you 2,000 credits in order to purchase this. Now because we have the Aranthian Succession rules, you get 2,000 credits to create your gang, as well as double number of champions in your gang as well. Now like I mentioned before, this is going to be a Vansar gang, and the nice thing about this gang is that it's going to have lots of maneuverability as well as the ability to fly because of the way that we kit out this list. At the same time, this list also has a lot of powerful firepower, which of course is quite standard for Vansar gangs being extremely shootable, but unlike normal Vansar gangs, these guys will also have a lot of survivability as well. So not only can they dish out punches with long-range firepower with the weapons they use, because they also take a hit as well and be a little bit more survivable. So because of that, when you combine these elements, you're going to be able to bring the rain on your enemies. You're going to be able to zip across the battle very quickly, hit them with some good long-range firepower, and also survive any hits that you manage to take back. So first of all, let's start with your leader. So this would be represented by your Tempestus miniatures. It would cost you 325 credits. This character is going to be a Vansar Prime, which is going to be the leader of your gang. Now this guy automatically comes with an armor body glove, which makes him immune to rad phage, as well as gives him +1 armor save, +6 armor save, I'm sorry. And when you combine with the mesh armor that you can put on top of this guy, it's going to give him a 4 armor save. He's also going to be packing a master crafted last pistol with hotshot last pack, so that way you're shooting at strength 4 with -1 AP. At the same time, it's also master crafted, so once per game you miss your initial or critical shot, you can reroll and try to hit again. This character is also packing a power sword for a close combat attack, means these guys will be striking at strength 4. At the same time, it can only be parried by other power weapons as well. And the reason why I went with this kit out is because that's what the actual miniature is actually carrying. We're giving this character photo goggles, that way they can see in all visibility conditions, and we're equipping this fighter with an Ash Waste Grav Cutter, which would cost 65 credits, which came from the Aranthe Succession rules. So that way you can move around 8 inches and be able to fly across the battlefield, ignore difficult terrain. And that kind of matches because these characters have jetpacks on themselves as well. We're also giving this guy the skill Commanding Presence, so that way you can do larger group activations. So the gunner miniature for your groups could cost you 330 credits as well. This could be a Vansar Augmech, which is a champion. Once again, armored body glove and mesh armor will give this guy 4 armor save with rad phage immunity to that. We're going to give this guy a melt-a-gun, and the reason why we're doing that is because one, melt-a-gun is a very powerful special weapon, and secondly, it looks like the miniature that you get has access to melt-a-gun, so kind of the best of both worlds. He's packing a last pistol for a backup weapon as well as photo goggles to see all visibility conditions, and once again also running on an Ash Waste Grav Cutter as well, so that way he can maneuver around the battlefield. And we're giving this guy hip shooting, so that way you can do a double action where he moves up twice and then open fire. Now you do suffer a -1 hit against with that melt-a-gun, but as an Augmech he's got Ballistic Skill 2, which means it could be Ballistic Skill 4. And if you're within the short range distance of that melt-a-gun, it's going to drop it back down to Ballistic Skill 2 again. So you'll be able to wipe out fools with that melt-a-gun and zip around the battlefield with your gunner. Now your other marksman specialist is going to cost 270 credits, and once again this character is also going to be another Vansar Augmech, which is a champion. They're also packing armored body gloves as well as mesh armor for that 4 armor save and immunity to rad phage. They also have a long last with a focusing crystal, so that way they get -3 AP on the long range shots. Plus it's at strength 4, and he can rocket around the tabletop with that gun, firing at 36 inches at the long range. He's also packing an infrasight on this weapon, so that way you can see in all visibility conditions, plus your enemies don't benefit from partial cover either. He's packing a last pistol for a backup weapon as well as close combat. He's also mounted on a Ash Waste Grav Cutter, so that way he can rock around the battlefield and fly. And we're giving this guy the fast shot skill from the shooting skill tree, so that way he can shoot twice within a single activation. And that's going to be really powerful because this guy's got a really powerful long range shooting attack, and that's going to really help you dominate on the battlefield. Now your gunfighter specialist is going to be another Vansar champion. This guy's going to cost 235 credits. He's going to be a Vansar Archaeotech, which is the second type of champion that's available to Vansar gangs. Now he's got an armor body glove and mesh armor for that good 4 armor save as well as rad phage immunity. But this time we're pairing this guy with paired last subcarbines, which means you have rapid fire strength 3 attacks with those guns. At the same time, we're giving him an Ash Waste Grav Cutter as well, so that way he can rock around the battlefield and fly. And because he's also an Archaeotech, he automatically gets an alpha level Cyber Technica of your choice. Now in this situation, we're giving him an Ocular Cyber Technica upgrade, so that way it acts like infrasights, so that way you can see in all visibility conditions and your enemies don't suffer and don't benefit from partial cover as well. At the same time, we're giving this guy the Gadgeteer skill too. And the reason why we're doing that is because for any weapon that's got the plentiful trait, such as your last subcarbines, you get rapid fire attached to it. Now because if the weapon already has rapid fire to it, the rule states that you actually get rapid fire too, which means this guy has the potential of actually dishing out 12 shots with his last carbines by using that Gadgeteer ability. So very, very deadly at close ranges as well. And then lastly, we're going to take your Servo Sentry, the little robot with a gun. He's going to cost 250 credits as well. And we're making this guy a Vansar Tech, which is a normal Vansar Ganger. We're giving this guy an armor body glove and mesh armor for that good armor save as well as for that rad phage immunity. And we're giving this guy a plasma gun because he's going to be a specialist for your gang. Plasma guns, of course, are extremely powerful rapid fire weapons. The Servo Sentry actually matches with that weapon perfectly for that, for some good medium to long range shooting with that. He's also got a last pistol for a backup weapon, and also mounted on an Ash Waste Grav Cutter so that we can fly around as well. And of course he's a specialist, so that's why he's able to take special weapons. Your Precursor Specialist is going to cost 135 credits. This guy's going to be a Vansar Neotech. He's going to have an armored body glove as well as mesh armor, as well as a last pistol hotshot last pack for that good reliable strength 4 shooting. We're also giving this guy a power knife, so that way he gets +1 to his strength in close combat, makes him strength 4, and the only way that that weapon can be parried if it's being parried by an opponent armed with a power weapon as well. So very up close and personal, and this guy's automatically rounded on a Grav Cutter. Your Grenadier is also going to cost another 50 credits. That specialist is going to be another Vansar Neotech with armored body glove as well as mesh armor. armor. Also packing a last pistol, the hot shot last pack attached to it, so that way you get that 4-up strength shooting attack. He's going to be packing photon flash grenades, so that way you throw those and go off. Your opponent loses their ready markers if they don't pass an initiative test. And also rad grenades, because weakening your enemies with rad phage and making them easier to wound is only going to work out for your gang. Plus, he's also got a grav cutter, so that way you can move around the battlefield even quicker. And lastly, for your last 4 remaining troopers, they're going to cost 75 credits apiece. These guys will be Vanstar Neotechs. Every single one of them are going to be. They got armored body gloves and mesh armor for that good 4-up armor save, as well as last carbines, so that way they get good, reliable, rapid-fire shots for their weapons, and also have a grav cutter too to rock around the battlefield. And that's going to make up your starting roster for the 2,000 credit Arantheus Succession list. Now, over the course of the campaign, this is how you should develop your gang. Purchase hotshot last packs for all last weapons, so that way you have strength 4 shooting for those who don't have those already, like your troopers, for example. Also suggest purchasing photo goggles and infra sights for the rest of your gang, so that way it'd be extremely important. So that way you can see at longer distances in the darkness, as well at the same time be able to engage at targets, even with visibility rules in place. I would also recommend purchasing close combat weapons as backup. Things like shock staves, for example, would be a good choice. Energy shields could also work too. And of course, purchase photon flash grenades for all of your Neotechs, that way they can take away enemy activations when they use those weapons. Now for your second list, the narrative for these guys are going to be a seconded incursion gang with a Spire Hunter leader leading this outfit as well. And you're using House Orlok to create the rest of your fighters, because these guys are acting as backup. Nothing fancy, because they're actually working for Noble pretty much. So that's why their armor looks a little bit better, and same with the equipment, because they're associated with a nobleman. And of course, this nobleman's kind of full of himself and wants his fighters to look good. These guys are actually acting as the base, I guess you would say, bait, trying to flush out enemies, so that way your Spire Hunter can take out the real targets and increase their kill counts. And because mainly House Orlok mainly uses auto weapons, not last weapons, we're going to use auto weapons for the entire list. Now, I know some of the naysayers out there will be like, well, Commander Cheapskate, these guys are packing last weapons, not auto weapons, and they're going to get upset about it. But that's okay, though, because in our world, we can do whatever we want with it, because we're saving money here. And plus, these last weapons these guys are packing, they look like automatic weapons. I mean, they really do. So your seconded incursion gang is going to have the Malstrain Alliance, and this guy's going to be rated at 1,400 credits. You're going to have a Yelled leader who's going to be the Spire Hunter gang, is going to be supported by Orlok fighters. Now this gang is actually more oriented for close quarters battle than the actual other gang that we did earlier, so these guys will be more up and close and personal, between close to medium range for their shooting, mainly doing a lot of close combat for the most part. Not to mention, because you're playing primarily with Orlok Wreckers for your game, they're going to get +1 strength on the charge as well, so do keep that on mind. At the same time, these guys are also packing quite a bit of explosives in order to help them control the battlefield conditions. So first of all, let's start with your leader. Your Servo Sentry is going to be the leader. It's going to cost you 255 credits, and this guy's going to be a Yelled Spire Hunter. Now you might be thinking, well, Commander Cheapskate, how the heck is this guy a Spire? Well, the little skull that's inside of the Servo Sentry actually is all that remains of an exiled House Helmor nobleman who wants to make sure he gets his kills in. So they made this little cybernetic suit for him to use, so that we can accomplish it. At least that's what you'll tell your opponents in case they take offense to it. Now he's going to have a Yelled Spire Hunting Rig, which is going to give him a 5-0 armor save as well as Parrot Yelled Missile Gauntlets, because those things are the pwn and they can be upgraded as time goes on. You got Yelled Wings to protect you for close combat, as well as -1 hit against you from shooting attacks if you remain stationary. We're also upgrading this guy with photo goggles, so that we can see in all visibility conditions as well. Now he automatically comes with the Reflex Enhancer special rule, which means you can activate twice in a single turn. He's also got the Master of the Hunt skill special rule, which means he can only be pinned if he gets wounded by a shooting attack. We have the Kill Count special rule, so that we can unlock more features for his hunting rig as he levels up with the kills he gets, as well as Spire Hunting rig glitches for lasting injuries until you actually get rid of them. At the same time, we're giving this guy the Overwatch skill, so that way he can interrupt enemy activations by firing missiles at them, which is all kinds of fun to do. Now, as for the rest of your gang, your Tempester and Gunner and Gunfighter specialists from your Tempestus Aquilon Kill Team are actually going to be Orlok Wreckers, who these guys are. These are the Orlok fighters that have jetpacks that kind of wrecking around. Now, your Tempester is going to cost you 135 credits. It's got flak armor for 6-up armor save, as well as a bolt pistol and a chain sword for close combat attacks. Good strength 4 shooting attack with the bolt pistol. The chain sword also helps you cut through enemy armor and gives you parry to survive as well. And of course, we have the jump booster, which helps you rock around and adds D3 inches to your movement allowance. At the same time, also allows you to get +1 strength in the charge when you engage enemy in close combat. Your Gunner Specialist is going to cost you another 150 credits. This guy's going to be an Orlok Wrecker as well. He's got a flak armor as well as a hand flamer this time, so that he can set enemies on fire, as well as a fighting knife for his backup weapon, and he's also got a jump booster. And then lastly, your Gunfighter Specialist is going to cost you 85 credits. He's another Orlok Wrecker with flak armor. He's got Parrot auto pistols as well as a jump booster. Now, your Grenadiers Specialist is also going to be another Orlock record at 136 credits. He's got flak armor as well as an auto pistol and melta bombs, because melta bombs are the pwn. He's also got a jump booster, so that way he can rock around the battlefield as well. Your Precursor is going to cost 185 credits as well. This guy's another Orlock record with flak armor as well as an auto pistol and fighting knife and a jump booster. And your Marksman Specialist is going to cost another 110 credits for this guy. Another Orlock record with flak armor as well as an auto gun this time, as well as frag grenades, as well as a jump booster. As for the remaining troopers, these guys would cost 110 credits apiece. All four of these guys will be Orlock wreckers with flak armor as well as auto guns for medium to close range shooting. They also got frag grenades in order to throw at their enemies, as well as jump boosters as well. Now, for the course of the campaign for your development for your gang, I would highly recommend purchasing photo goggles for fighters for all visibility conditions, because you are going to be in the underhells and visibility conditions also apply in that setting. I also suggest purchasing man-stopper rounds for your auto pistols, as well as any kind of specialist ammo like shock rounds or whatever this case might be to make your auto guns even deadlier. Now, of course, getting better close combat weapons and pistols backup weapons for your Orlock fighters also going to be very important as well. Getting things like knives, for example, chain swords, whatever weapon you like to use for your fighters in close combat, equip them with that, or give them another pistol if you want in order to use as a backup weapon, or preferably both if you got the options to do so. So in conclusion, I want you to remember the golden rule. Every miniature is a Necromunda miniature. So if you have some Tempestus Aquilons and you want to do more than just play Kill Team with them, may I suggest using them for Necromunda. They would fit in the setting perfectly. These miniatures are absolutely beautiful and they're full of character, and they also have some pretty interesting gameplay mechanics that you can adapt in your games in Necromunda and use that to have additional fun. After all, you want to fight against inflation, so playing more games with the same set of miniatures will do exactly that, and to help you to have a lot of fun, and at the same time save you a ton of money at the same time. And as always, as new information keeps on dropping for both Kill Team as well as for Necromunda, keep an eye out for more content, because I will be keeping pace with that and making videos on that content as well. So that's good for this week, guys. As always, please remember to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blog.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this week, guys. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.